you're not trying to like be like super day trader to begin with. It's like you learn 5 stocks and you watch them and you pay attention to them, and then you put money in when it's low, and then you take it out when it's high. You take your profits, and then it's like just because people don't know what's going on, or you can leave it in if you feel comfortable. But it depends on your risk tolerance. But you may get bigger gains definitely from leaving it in. Like most people leave it. A long-term strategy is 2 to 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So like, so do you have your stocks? So do you have stocks?
Yeah, I have stocks.
Your stocks. So are they diversified? Meaning like you're like do you have a mutual fund, or like do you use mutual funds, or do you just bet it all on you know what I'm saying?
So I have 2 types of accounts that I put money into. Like my Acorns and my Money Line are both like basically bonds and ETFs, like safe plays.
Yeah.
And then I manage the tech stocks through my Webull. Like I really study a lot of different like tech at home. Like basically what adapted to the COVID well.
Okay. So how do you feel about Forex?
I mean, I know people who make a lot of money from Forex, but I think it's like a skill. I don't think it's something where it's like you just pick up Forex and you start making money from it. I think it's a skill built over time, but I know people who like have like quit their 6-figure jobs and bought whole houses off of Forex.
So I'm gonna say essentially, isn't that what we're doing? All of it. I mean, it's not as pivotal, but that essentially we're buying something to sell to another one to kind of get a little bit more, then we'll bring it back, then we bring it all back to the dollar type. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's kind of like, it's different because Forex is more like stock options, and that it's like you're not purchasing something, you're purchasing a position on it. And then
what do you mean by that?
So with Forex, it's like you purchase a position on the differences between 2 currencies, right? And you're basically betting that by this time, this position is going to increase.
So we bet that one country is going to fail.
More pips of movement. We bet that one country is going to do better than the other country.
So we bet one country is going to fail.
Yeah.
See, you got to really be in the know to make this happen. They out here doing it, you know what I mean?
But it's something where it's like the foreign exchange has been around for like 200 years, like 250 years. It just recently became available to the public through the advent of technology, like last 5 years.
Yeah. Well, you talking about like with the apps or whatever, but okay, before we had to have brokers.
But yeah, before I was like,
so we cutting out the middleman. So like, all right, so what should we be doing through this transformation? You know what I'm saying? So by the end of this year, what are the things that we should be doing?
I mean, I think it's really like thinking about what you do and how it's been affected, and if you still want to do that, and where you want to go from here. And that's really the first thing you make a decision on. It's like just educate yourself on what's available.
Yeah.
Like there are options and resources. You can prepare yourself for a natively digital world where you work from home and you still expand your skill set.
But for a person that's like not on the digital side, right? Yeah. So when you hear that, how like we know what it means per se, but like how do I do that?
So it's like basically like learning. There's free platforms available on Google, Digital Garage, and LinkedIn Learning. And they just released a bunch of courses.
And YouTube University, boy. I'm a summa cum laude PhD on that YouTube University. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like they'll teach you enough for you to give you a basis of where you should look. And then from there, you just figure it out. But there'll be a lot of these opportunities available in the work from home role because companies are letting a lot of people go now.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be a point where they need more people again. But they're not going to need them to do what they used to do. Yeah. They're going to need them for digitally relevant skill sets.
So, all right, so basically we need to just repurpose
it's really about, like, upskilling yourself and, like, looking at it like you have to take responsibility for your future and acquire a new skill set.
So if I know how to use a computer because we were born into the age that where we do use computers, you mean something beyond just knowing how to use a computer, right?
Yeah.
Or being technological savvy. Like, you mean, like what you mean, right?
Yeah, I mean, like acquiring a specific skill set that you can do over the internet.
So like, I gotta learn A+?
When you don't just have to get your A+ and learn IT support, you can be like a graphic designer, or you
Okay.
could work in marketing, or
Yeah.
you could be a personal shopper who works with people online over Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
But you have to learn how to effectively use the equipment to do your job.
Okay.
Because right now,
Yeah.
there's 300 people for every opening. You feel me?
Yes.
So it's like, in reality, like if they bring somebody in, they're looking for people who can adapt to what's going on right now and
Sure.
quickly. So you just want to already be familiar with those tools.
How do you feel about Trump? President Trump, he just did a thing where, like, I guess for government jobs, it's going to be more of a prize for the actual skill than the degree.
I mean, I don't think that's like a bad thing, right? Like, I don't have a degree. Like, I just have a GED, and I got a really good job based off of my skill set.
Yeah.
And it's more so like, I think that's where most companies look now, is like what you've accomplished, you know? But how can I put it? I think it makes sense. It's something overdue.
Okay, cool. That's what's up. So, give me top 3 tips. We got the summer coming up, you know what I'm saying? Young black brothers, you know what I'm saying? What they can do to kind of get their money right. Let's say I just graduated college. No, I just graduated high school. I don't got too much money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I would say there's like a real resurgence right now in like digital literacy, financial literacy, and mental resiliency online right now. Like, there's a lot of resources available, like Wall Street Trapper and Your Leisure, like a master investor, like a lot, 90 Keys, like a lot of people out there who are advocating towards like really sharing knowledge with people like us.
Yeah.
And that's what it boils down. Like, I think there's really like, you go out, like you think about what you want to be, look at the position you want to be in, and find out who's good at it, and look at what they do, and really like think about how, yeah, you may not have that job today, right, or go get that job today, but you can get a job at that company, and then you can learn about it from there, and decide if you really want that job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So give me like a practical list.
So a practical list, I would say, just try to take one of these courses and acquire a new skill set. One of the courses that I mentioned, and then also look at creating some type of like website or something that's gonna work for you and make money for you. You know what I mean? And look into like investing in cryptocurrency and like things that you can do, because it's important to take responsible for like what happens with your money.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really just afford to trust somebody who's only worried about giving you 8% interest. You know?
Yeah. So do you believe in the banking system or not?
I mean,
I'll go on record to say, I mean, I've known you for a long time. You actually brought up the Bitcoin idea to me about 10 years ago.
yeah.
And I went pish posh.
Yeah.
Don't bring up anything against the dollar. You know what I'm saying? So
So I was actually like back then, like I was doing like electronic recycling.
Yeah.
And I was gonna build like a server farm with mining rigs.
And I couldn't conceptualize it at the time at all.
Yeah.
I get it now, boy. I wish I would have got it back then, but we'll all be rich. You know what I'm saying? We'll be richer. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So you're saying?
But I think it's a like that with cryptocurrency, nobody knows what's gonna happen. And the blockchain processes are things that can like literally like change the world, and it's coming day by day.
So is that something that we should bet all the cards on?
No, I wouldn't bet. You don't bet all your cards on anything. Like, it's like if you look at those resources I mentioned, like Wall Street Trapper, UIL University, the Master Investor, like they'll tell you how you should manage your portfolio, and it's like you don't really do anything. Like before I put any money into like individual stocks, I had like municipal bonds and ETFs, and then I went from there.
Okay. So you diversify before you go into something kind of
you create your insurance policy first.
Spreading the money across.
Yeah, and the places where you know it'll appreciate safely at like a consistent return. And then you take your risk.
Okay.
Your risk is like supposed to, I don't know. Different people have different strokes for different folks, but some people say it should be like 30% of your portfolio should be risk.
At what age? 'Cause I know it's like at different ages they advocate doing different things, right?
Well, I mean, it depends on like if that's like depending on like your advent horizon, like how many years you have before you need a return and like need your retirement and stuff like that. Like those are like all variables.
Okay, so when you say how many years before you need a return? what do you like? What's the average if I was to get a stop?
So there's a difference between so the average person investing like if you didn't want to learn about stocks, right? And you're just mom and pop with like a 401k, and you decide you want to invest in like ETFs or like index funds because they'll appreciate, like that's what they're designed for at a safe return. Then that's typically what you would do. They're not, like educate themselves and try to learn how to do short-term day trading or anything like that. You know what I mean? But people who do like regularly beat the market, if you like, but it's like something you study, like in and of itself. Like it's really like art.
There's a whole science in itself.
Yeah, like you gotta read like whole new languages, like the 10Ks and shit like that. Like they really break down how like you research a company.
Okay.
And like,
so, like
what they have going.
All right. So I love this talk. It was very informative. Like, so what's your contact? How we get in contact with you?
I'm on Instagram at Living Excellence, and then you can also reach me by Gmail at livingexcellence